Warrior Woman, Episode 3, Part 2, Memory of Fire. The leaders of the tribes, from the Snow Mountains Crane Tribe, the underground Snake Clan in the caverns, to the Data Council in the Connection Valley, were all present. Their gazes were silent, bearing the scars of history from ancient wars. Master Nin, once a strategic advisor for the Supreme Council, now stood quietly behind the data curtain. He had opposed the all-powerful Fire Fragment Project, a militarized energy program from the Earth layer, capable of empowering an empire to rise and destroy all life. He had failed, and now the descendants of that project were beginning to take action. The Earth layer Fire, a semi-primal, semi-technological entity, was believed to be an ancient energy source buried long ago. According to top-secret documents once stolen from the Supreme Science Institute, it was the product of an alliance between three factions: post-war alchemists, a group of AI with self-developing emotions, and a spiritual community from the Sun's Eye Valley. The balance between these three forces was once likened to the coexistence of fire and water. But once disrupted, the consequences would be total loss of control. Like a fire without the divine flame to sustain it, it would consume the very soul of the world. On her journey through the living lava valley, Aria met a strange girl named Heroine, someone with amber eyes and hands always covered by thin gloves. She had been raised in the Mindwave Response Lab, a place combining AI brainwave analysis technology with the traditional psychic practices of the Sacred Wood tribe. Heroine could read object memories by touching them, a precious legacy of both the mechanical and spiritual worlds. In an underground room, Heroine placed her hand on a charred metal fragment, a relic from the Earth layer energy core. A faint green smoke rose, and hundreds of interwoven images appeared in her and Aria's minds. Armored troops programmed with hatred, sacrificial rituals to open the fire portal, and a child, eyes ablaze, directly connected to the core energy, like a young god chained by its own creators. Aria stood still. Behind that gaze, she felt the presence of all three forces: manipulated political power, boundary-pushing technology, and twisted spirituality. What she faced was no longer an organization, but a living will, an entity blending ancient memories, war data, and emotional energy, capable of infiltrating any civilization to turn progress into doom. When Aria turned around, the white tiger was growling softly. Its face reflected the fierce storm, not just because an armored army was approaching, but because it sensed the crack between the three streams of energy tearing apart the fabric of time. In the distance, a metal-armored army was advancing. The air trembled with their footsteps, like an overture to the final clash of three worlds.